Let's open the drawing median with shoulders and channels. Go to File, Open, or press Ctrl O. Go to our training folder, Civil 3D Advanced Assemblies and Subassemblies, Training Drawing, Dual Roads, and open median with shoulders and channel. Go to File, Save As, or press Ctrl-Shift-S and save it under Dual Road, and as a name use Median and Lane Offset Targets and save. For this exercise, let's test whether the median targets for the width are working well. Zoom to plan, and what we want to do here is that we want to add a widening to the median. Now there's a lot of yellow lines and it's a little bit confusing, so let's clean up our corridor a bit so it looks better. As you can see, the outside edges have green color. The inside edges have yellow color. If we want both to have a green color, we either need to use a ETW code or we need to use a ETW inside, ETW outside. We can either use marked point or we can simply modify the assembly at this point. So let's go to Subassembly for the left lane, go to Properties, and change the inside point code to ETW. As soon as you do that, you will see the green cross here. And let's do the same on the other side. Here, I would like to prefer to have ETW as well. So select Subassembly and go to Properties. Then inside edge point code should be ETW. Outside can be lane. And outside point code is correct, ETW. Let's rebuild our corridor. You can select Corridor in Plan and go to Rebuild Corridor. It did apply new style. You can see the line doesn't look completely yellow, it's green, but there is another feature line that is overlapping with a green feature line. Why is that happening? If you zoom closer, you will see that this link width and slope has a code P2. So we should change it. And in fact, once you finish with your modeling, you should change those links to have a omit codes for point and link. Select both and go to Properties. And for the point code, use omit. And for the link code, use omit. Enter for both. Rebuild the corridor. I'm going from Prospector now. So go to Rebuild. And that should update the feature lines in Plan. So that looks definitely better. So those two yellow lines are channel bottom. Then we have a shoulder hinge point, shoulder top or edge, and then we have a inside lane and outside lane. So this is a good starting point as it's easier to work with this. And then let's add the widening for the median. Currently the median width, if I select this link together with the shoulder, let me go there, it's 6 meters. So that will be our default value. Select center line. I will stretch this a bit to get a little bit more space. Select center line and add offset alignment. We can add offset alignments on both sides. So for the road one, we can keep the default name from beginning to the end, one offset on the left, one offset on the right, and the default offset is 6 meters on both sides for now. The style can be no plot style offset alignment, no labels. You can go to widening criteria. We don't want to add any widening, and you can go to create offset profile. We don't want any profile at this point, so tick that off and click OK. If you zoom out, you can see those offset alignments. If you struggle to see them, then switch on the line weight. They will be displayed with a thick line, so it's easier to work with them. Select the offset alignment on the left-hand side and add widening. You can either add widening from the ribbon. I personally prefer using the plus sign because this is a little bit more flexible. Then drag the marker or grip point and move it somewhere here. If you click again on a circular marker, it shows 2 new grips and you can add the widening region or transition region. Then go to offset parameters and let's specify the new values. I want a linear transition defined by taper ratio. I want to use 1:15, 1:15. Then as a region type as specified, and then the offset. So the original width is 6 meters and I want to extend it, so I will go to -8. Enter. And then let's close this view. And you can see the new offset alignment that has a widening in. And we want the median to extend the width towards this alignment. So let's set the corridor target. Select corridor, right-click and go to corridor properties. Or if you prefer, you can go to modify targets, edit targets, whatever you prefer. Then select the region and go to targets. Let's go to offset and elevation. Under the subassembly, untick select all and use link width and slope because this subassembly is used to specify the width of the median. And let's display it in a list. On the left hand side, so you can check the side here, we want to change the offset target and it must use left offset alignment. If you want, you can rename the offset alignments. If the name is too confusing, you can call it, let's say, ETWL inside or ETWL outside, for example, later on. That might be easier. So let's tick this on and let's click OK and OK. And our median now has a widening in. Let's look at the cross section. Select sample line, right click and go to zoom to section view. And let's see if it looks right. Unfortunately, the height is not good, so let's modify the section view height. Select section view, right click and go to section view properties. Go to elevations and we need to specify new elevation. Let's go from 190 to 220. Let's see if that helps. Let me zoom closer here and you can see that this point is no longer at -6, it is at -7.6. If I zoom somewhere at the top, you can see still here -6, but here it is -7.6. Let's zoom back to plan, so go to zoom to sample line. There's one thing which I don't like much, is the median, because it doesn't cross the center line. If you want to fix this problem, you must go to Tool Space, Settings, right-click on Corridor and go to Edit Feature Settings. Then go to Feature Line Connection option and Feature Line Cross Baseline, set it to Yes. Click OK. And if you rebuild Corridor, you can go to Prospector. Currently, it doesn't offer to rebuild Corridor. So what I will do, I will go to Assembly Properties. And if I just click OK, it should show the exclamation mark. And let me rebuild it now. And that will connect the feature lines across the center line. So I'm happy with the outcome for now. Let's rename the offset alignments to make it a little bit easier for us. So select Offset Alignment, go to Properties. And for the one on the left-hand side, let's call it ETWL inside. This is the edge of traveled way on the left-hand side inside. We can discuss whether this should be edge of traveled way or whether the point on the shoulder should be edge of traveled way. It depends. Various designers prefer various options. Let me show you. Some designers prefer this point to be ETW. In Civil 3D, it is called edge of paved shoulder. So that's what I'm using here. This point is edge of traveled way inside on the left-hand side. And we can do the same on the right-hand side. Let's go back to Plan, select Offset Alignment on the right-hand side, go to Properties, and you can call it ETWR inside, and hit Enter. So the offset alignment for the median worked quite well. And let's add a widening for the lane. We will create offset alignment of the offset alignment. Select Offset Alignment on the left-hand side and go to Offset Alignment. Then this is the original name. If you want, you can rename the offset alignment. This will be ETWL outside. From the beginning to the end, on the left-hand side, the width should be 2 lanes width, because the one lane is 3.6 multiplied by 2 is 7.2. On the right-hand side, we don't want any offset alignments. Under the widening criteria, nothing. Create profile, nothing. Click OK. So now we have this new offset alignment for the outside edge. Select it, click on the plus sign or use Add Widening. And let's add the widening again. I will move it slightly back. I want widening to start somewhere here. Then I click on a circular marker or grip point and I add the widening region. Let's go to offset parameters and let's specify the widening. So we want a linear widening, by length, no, by taper. 1 in 15, enter. And then we want to go from -7.2 plus 3.6 is -10.8. -10.8, enter. Let's close this window. And this is a new offset alignment with a widening. And let's add the targets. Select corridor, right click and go to corridor properties. Select region 1, go to target. Then under the subassembly, let's select lane superelevation AOR only. On the left hand side, we have only one and we want to change the width target. And it must be ETWL outside. Let's use it. Click OK and OK. And this is the result. Let's go to this cross section. So zoom to section view. And let's see, you can see that this is -8 and this is wider. So we applied widening. We applied widening only at this point, but you can also use vertical targets if needed. So each lane can have its own vertical profile. But that's more about the corridor modeling, not about the subassemblies. In this exercise, I just wanted to test the offset targets, but you can use elevation targets as well. And I would like to mention one more note here. If you do have the pivot point at the lane center line, not at the road center line, then you must create offset alignment from the road center line to the lane center line. And for each edge, you must create offset alignment of the offset alignment. Be aware that for some very difficult alignments, the offset alignments might fail. It can happen. So in those cases, you must use other options, maybe polylines or feature lines if it does provide better result. But I'm not going to run this exercise because it is fairly simple and you already know how to do all that.